Oopsies. Why can't I see it? Okay, we're on live scene. The alert box is on. Chat is on. Why can't I see? Hold on 1 second, guys. Sorry. Layouts. Sorry, guys. Give me a second. Let's see if this works. Maybe I'm just tripping. It hasn't. If somebody's in, can somebody that's in the Discord like go to the YouTube and like, or let me put the YouTube link. That'll probably help. I usually notice it just has the chat box, even if somebody hasn't said anything. I thought. Infinity Mirror inbound. Somebody that's in the Discord like go to the YouTube and like. I don't know. Okay, why is it? Oh, there we go. Okay, wow, I'm a fucking idiot. Everyone. Okay, I see it now. I thought I just had it hidden. Okay, so now we got that set up. What is up, everybody? Well, that was pretty quick. The expecting a little pullback from the this morning rally. I don't see us being bearish for the day. I see a pretty clear draw for the intraday at 40.78, and I'll go over why I think that. So first confluence I have is this 4-hour balanced price range, and not only it, but the reaction we got off of it. So if you look at the time, we came right into that, down into there, right around 6:30 this morning. So obviously we weren't by the market, but if we notice, price moved pretty rapidly pre-market, right at that 8:30 open, moved up. We had that 10 a.m. news, and whenever we look at news, we want to see what kind of liquidity is attacked and then what happens after. So if we see a raid on lows like this, and then a big push up after, that usually tells us price is reaching up. Now, while it could have just been reaching towards this, because it seems like we are having some trouble, my overall bias is bullish, as you guys know, and I'm going to be looking for buy-side liquidity. So if I'm wrong, whatever. But the two areas I see that we'd have a pullback to, we've almost hit one of them, is this sell side right here that created this little range, maybe down into this imbalance here, or one of these order blocks right here. And the reason I like this order block is we closed under that liquidity and then immediately rallied off of it and engulfed it. Somebody asked for BPR, do I want the body to close within the consequent encroachment for it to be considered respected? No, for me, I'm more or less just using it as a point of interest. I just want to see the move out of it and what kind of structure is taken, if any. So like here, we took a short-term high, and we also took these highs out here with displacement. So to me, it tells me, you know, that's indicative of that zone being valuable. I originally wanted this this level down here to get hit, but the market didn't want to give that, which is okay. I haven't taken a trade today or this week actually. Well, there's a crypto trade, but that's for the private server. Pretty amazing fucking couple weeks though in crypto. We talk a lot of shit about crypto, but whenever it's not pumping and not doing our thing. But at the end of the day, whenever it's moving, crypto is a great opportunity. So we'll go over some of the trades we took and why we took them. These were all given in the private Discord. So Dash, I think I gave this to you guys on Twitter too. I was looking at a power of 3 on the daily chart. So we had this accumulation, oops, right, manipulation down here. And then the thing that I look for when playing these setups, a lot of people get confused on them. I know I used to, because everything is so fucking overcomplicated. And then I realized more and more I trade, more and more I actually use things, I realize it's not even that complicated. People just try to make it sound complicated so people like look up to them or some stupid shit. But this right here is pretty clear power of 3. The only thing that I look for in playing these setups is the move back into the range. So let's just say that this move would have been lackluster. Let's just imagine in another world that, you know, price kind of did this and it just sat here. That's not a power of 3. We need displacement into the range. Now, I get a lot of questions too. If we get a pushback into the range, you know, they're going to say, like, okay, well, I'm going to wait for this order block. Well, you're not going to get that. Most of the time, you're not, because we are in distribution and we're targeting those highs. It's just once you move out of the range, think about it like this. If you're a market maker and you position yourself down here, why would you position yourself again here or here? You don't need to. You've done that by accumulating all the liquidity in this range, taking it, absorbing it, and now you're going to your target. You don't have to continuously mitigate like we're talking about normal market structure. This is more, you know, manipulation has already happened. So, you know, once I had given that bias, I'd given it on Twitter, talking on the Discord. We didn't execute off of it for some time. I was waiting, and I'm speaking from experience, because I was like, oh, I'm going to wait for here. And we talked, I still have an alert set for it. And I watched the market and I said, you know, trust what you know and execute on it. So if I'm looking here and we are distributing towards these highs, you know, I was like, okay, you're probably not going to get this Pico entry that you want. Yeah, there's equal lows under it. Yeah, there's nice PI. That may be a good entry later. But we're looking at the market in terms of, we have a clear draw on liquidity, which is that high of the accumulation range. The market is in distribution mode. And I'm not talking about Wyckoff. I'm talking about it's distributing orders, right? It's distributing price towards the buy side liquidity. That's all you need to know is what it's going towards, and it's going there with force. So we had this price action here on the 1 hour, which if this doesn't look familiar, then I don't know what to tell you. It looks just like that daily price action. Again, push down, violent push back up, right? So I just longed as soon as we got around this area, just because I was also matching that with this 4-hour order block. And the reason I have this order block selected is it was the biggest candle in this down move that closed under liquidity. So you can see we tapped off that nicely, candle shelf. So just retail liquidity getting soaked up under that level. And we got a failure swing right here. So I was watching for a potential, and you'll get failure swings a lot of the time when we're talking about power 3. So yeah, we could have waited for a tap, sweep, and shift, but instead, you know, we got that failure swing where we come out, right, and then we push off that level pretty aggressively. Whether you're talking about right here or over here, we respected that level and then saw displacement away from it. So that tells me that, you know, enough positions have been absorbed at this level. We're not going to go back under this low. And after we push aggressively right here, that to me was the last sign of institutional involvement. So we took liquidity here and moved away from it. So that to me is a good point for our stop loss, because we shouldn't be going under that if we are to remain bullish. So whenever we see that expansion up, you know, I just put one TP right here. It hit very quickly while we were in the private server. We did a AMA with Jared Tendler, super awesome guy, very intelligent, very good at what he does. It was pretty cool to sit down and have everybody talk to him. Now the push up happened during that is what made me think about it. And then we saw some consolidation, and notice how we came close to this stop loss, but we didn't touch it. We took out liquidity here, which is normal, but we didn't take out our stop loss. So that's when you know you have a good institutional level. We just held the trade at that point. Some members, I said, if you're in a lot of longs, you can break even stops, and some members did. That was, I think, over somewhere in this area. But I did say that, you know, we could also hold the trade. So I held the trade. Pretty rapid expansion straight to take profit. And this is, you know, once we got in that mode, it's game over. So that was that trade. We'll go over this DYDX trade that was also pretty nice. Pretty massive move here. So what's crazy is I looked at this on stream. I think we might even, I don't know if we entered this right after a stream. What time was it? Let's see. No, it wasn't. But basically this was, I mean, just daily, right? We had this liquidity taken right here. High resistance run on liquidity, displacement break of structure, trading back into the bullish order flow, pushing up, leaving that balanced price range right there, and then rapid displacement, confirming that, leaving a fair value gap, which gave us our entry. So I just entered as I was looking at price that came down to the gap. It's pretty clear we're going to these highs. Now, what's pretty cool about this is, we're trying to do analysis based off smart money concepts. We're trying to track manipulation or institutional order flow. And what happened right after we got into this trade, the next morning, DYDX announced that they were pushing back the token unlock, which means the people who invested in DYDX as a seed investor when it first started, they're not allowed to sell their tokens that they get for X amount of time. So when those token unlocks, getting close, people are anticipating a sell-off. So what does everybody want to do? Everybody wants to short. When we look at DYDX, what has it been doing this entire time when everybody wants to short? It's been getting accumulated, taking out lows, taking out highs with displacement after. So pretty cool to kind of visualize news happening in the chart before it happens. 3.5 risk to reward just using a daily chart. And then we have some equity moon bags just at this point, just sitting, right now up 85% on equity. So it's pretty crazy move. I haven't had a crypto play like that in a little bit. Hold on 1 second. But yeah, pretty crazy move for that. Crypto's been nice lately. It has been. And then we had some Bitcoin. I think I deleted the TA on it, but we had some shorts that ended up get stopped at break even. It was after this sweep up here. We shorted a right in this candle right here. After this liquidity was taken, I just went ahead and shorted because it was close enough to invalidation, give me a good risk to reward. And ended up getting stopped at break even sometime after this. Because Bitcoin is in that distribution mode too. In my opinion, we're going towards this high right here. So, maybe a lot of people I'm seeing are talking about this high. I think the 25K is where we're moving towards. We'll see how that goes with this week. But let me look at some of these questions. Yo, didn't know you did live streams. Oh yeah, we used to do them every single day. We do them 3 times a week in the private Discord, or I do them 3 times a week in the private Discord. There's streams every day for the premium members, but I only do streams on YouTube once a week now. But we used to do them every day. Somebody said, "What's good, everybody?" Oh, player, see you and Haas. I answered that one. Good morning, Guinea. Hey, what's up, Guinea? I haven't seen you in a while. Hope you're doing good. He said, get that swag. Thanks, bro. Please check forex pairs. Give me some forex pairs. Thoughts on the cable fiber correlation was so wonky this morning. I haven't even been watching forex recently. I've been crypto. It's usually like for me, indices are kind of like my main thing, and then I have like a side chart that I'm watching for swings and stuff, and I cycle between forex and crypto. Right now, I think that we're drawing to these equal highs, so I'd be bullish on the euro dollar overall. Drawing liquidity be these equal highs. So I look at the 4-hour. We traded, I guess we did trade. We can recap that too. We traded the euro dollar last week. Got stopped at break even after pretty nice gains. We had a TP, it was here and then here. So we had 2 TPs. Ended up, we didn't get stopped at break even. We closed it at the market close right before the broker hour. So, and this was based off the same bias I'm giving you guys right now. We recapped this last week's stream. I want to, or no, that was in the private Discord. But basically the bias for this trade was we had taken out this liquidity on a 1-hour, closed under it, nice order block, engulfing, break structure. We traded back down into it. 5-minute with time and price. So we had 8:30 open, dipped under it. I could have got a better entry, but I entered it right after 8 just because I was pretty confident in this bias. Hit, played out pretty nicely. Didn't go to full TP though. So if I go back to the 4-hour now, I'm not seeing much displacement to the downside. Some might call this displacement. That's not to me. As far as like a reference point that we're moving off of, did we pip this low? It's 18022. Yeah, barely pipped that low. Pretty crazy move off of it too. So we got this push up, right? Pretty nice displacement. I can't say I would have longed that or anything, but then we push back down into that fair value gap. It's failing to hold up here. Pretty chop. It's not really the cleanest PA, but you know, I could see this push down into this order block down here, push up, but we're not really holding displacement. So this is a chart I'd probably chill on, but if we don't hold that displacement or get back above here with force, I would look for this low. Now, I know you said what was wrong with the cable and fiber. Let's see, so this started at 9:15, so we had a nice down move and an up. What was GU doing? Oh, let's see, it's even worse. I don't really see too much of a difference, except we took liquidity. I mean, if that's what you're talking about, we had a nice SMT right there on GU. But the daily on GU, we took out these equal highs. We moved back into a premium. We didn't try to trade in this order block here. But, you know, I could even see maybe this getting taken out on GU if price wants to. This to me, this is not, like if I'm day trading, this is mainly what I'm looking at. Like I look at everything for reference, but I'm really looking at this. And I don't know about you, but this does not look like Pico, you know, phenomenal price action. That's just my opinion. This is one thing that I think that the ICT space kind of like puts in people in newer traders' head that can be detrimental is like you have to trade one pair. Like that's the stupidest shit I've ever heard, in my opinion. Sorry to insult anybody. I don't mean like if that's what you do and you do it good, more power to you. But I don't like force yourself to do that. You know what I mean? Like have something that you know, like one asset class that you're working in a lot, and you know. But sometimes that even has to change. You know, as a trader, one of the biggest mistakes you can make is staring at one chart and one asset class for months while something else is moving great. For example, let's say you're a crypto trader during 2020 and 2021. That's what I was. I was mainly trading crypto. And then we have this massive, insane fucking year in the stock market. And you just sat there and watched this all day, every single day. You watched this right here instead of watching this. Nice movement every day, big expansive candles. So it's just like you got to know where the value's at. Where are you going to be able to? Damn, yes, it's doing that thing, huh? No, not really. It looked a little crazier on the daily. Making new highs though. Didn't take out where I wanted it to. But you know, you got to be read some of these. I'll look at some of these in a second. I want to finish this thought. You got to be versatile, and you got to know when it's time to, you know, maybe watch a different asset class or watch different pairs. So, like right now, in my opinion, forex isn't really super clean. Well, not forex as a whole. I'm sorry, euro, dollar, and pound. Didn't mean it like all forex. I'm sure there's tons of moves, but maybe I'm being biased. But I just, you know, in my opinion, the space to have been watching this month was undeniably crypto, and very close second stock market, but crypto for sure. I mean, crypto's been pretty massive, very volatile markets. The price action is pretty clean. As a day trader, as a short-term trader, this is what you want to trade. A lot of people will watch ICT and be like, oh, that's madness. And you know, I've told you not to trade crypto at certain times. You know, when I'll tell you to not trade crypto is when it's just like this, when it's just sideways movement, a lot of wicks. It's not really moving very well. But whenever crypto is showing desire to move and it's moving based off of the strategy that you use, you know, fucking trade it. Don't just be like a Scrooge. But let's look at some of these other comments. Casper, I appreciate you breaking down ICT content. By the way, many blessings to you and your fam. Yeah, I appreciate you coming by and the kind words. Blessings to you and your family as well. Love your educational content, bro. The best in the space. Hey, thanks, man. I appreciate that a lot. I try to, just because it's like I see a big value hole in this space, because like it doesn't need to be as like esoteric, like, because ICT, like, I mean, I've got nothing to respect for the guy, but you know, for his teachings, but you know, as the way he kind of carries himself and kind of proceeds things, I don't really agree with it. To each his own, but I think that it causes a lot of harm in people trying to learn it. You know, some people it doesn't, some people it does. So I try to kind of come in and fill that void, because it's not nearly as hard. You know, you got to remember when he came out with the original content, he was selling that for thousands and thousands of dollars to people. That's why a lot of people that are, you know, have been with ICT since 2016 are angry as fuck that he made everything free like that, because they paid thousands of dollars for that. But whenever you're charging thousands of dollars for something, you know, it's kind of, you kind of take it to a next level and make it, you know, people feel like they're paying thousands of dollars for something. You know, you don't want to make it simplified as much as possible, which I don't really agree with that, but I get it, whatever. So I think that that creates a massive, massive fucking void to be filled. And that's why you see him getting so, like, you know, upset about other people, you know, reselling and shit. It's like, you know, I mean, a lot of other people explain it just as well, if not better, but, you know, regardless, the teachings are invaluable, and I do respect that aspect of it. So don't get me wrong. Somebody said we went over GU and EU. Perennial asked, how can I join your private group? So there's a link in the description. It is the Playbit link, and use code all caps Casper, and you can actually get a free trial to just see if you like it before you decide to stay. And at me once you're in there. At me and whatever. If you're in if you trade forex, do the crypto and forex. If you trade stocks, we got a shitload of people doing stock like options and stuff that absolutely kill it. Like Glacier and Robbie and Hunter go crazy. But if you depends what you trade, what membership, or you can get both too. Just costs a little more. What's this? Okay, so USDJPY. So has it hit? There's another one I've been waiting in. So I see two potential outcomes here. So we've got this weekly range. It's absolutely fucking massive. And there's liquidity sitting. Let me do this. I have this still. Just make it a little easier on the eyes. There's liquidity sitting in a discount. So yeah, it's an order block that we expanded pretty rapidly off of. We've taken liquidity into it. So I don't necessarily think it needs to be taken, but DXY, I think, looks more like it wants to take this low. If I look on the daily, we close under this candle right there, giving a nice order block. And look at this reaction we've got off of it. So yes, we've taken out some short-term highs, but really it was just to fill that daily imbalance, right? So until we get out of this chop, maybe even sweep that low again, or maybe sweep that low, whatever. Again, it's just, you got to know, being part of being consistent is in, you know, if your strategy doesn't give you a clear, very confident bias in something, that means you just wait. You know what I mean? And it's hard to do that sometimes, and that's what trading one pair will kill, is the ability to do that. So when I look at this, I see it, like I see a bullish bias. You know what I mean? I know a lot of people want to long it, and I definitely can see that. But for me, it's not clear enough to try to catch the bottom. Now, let's just say, plot twist, we get a massive displacement above this high, and we create a fair value gap. Okay, now we're talking. You see what I mean? And I'm not concerned with catching it down here to take it all the way up here. I'm just concerned with knowing which way the market is going, because I'm a day trader, especially with forex. You know, I'll swing some stuff, but most of the time, I just need to know what way the market's going. I'm not in the business of catching tops or catching bottoms. I'm in the business of making money, and I don't have to catch the top or the bottom to do that. All I need to know is what way the river is flowing, what's my bias, and if I don't have that, then that's when I wait. So that's where I'm at with UJ, but I do see a setup cooking for sure. You know, I see the idea, okay, we took out this high resistance right on liquidity, traded back into this order block, push up, but to me, it's just not there yet. It's just not enough displacement taken out. You know, this imbalance is the main culprit of why I'm not, because we're just, you know, to me, there's no reason why this wouldn't just dump into this low. But I'm also not going to short that because we're in a daily order block at a discount. So you see, it's kind of, you can see both sides too much. What steps would I take as a new trader? I feel like a lot of people that teach SMT concepts tend to overcomplicate the narrative. So SMT is a technique, but don't get me wrong. I mean, I'm not telling you not to watch ICT. I think that it's great. I think that you can learn a ton from it. But some people I know don't have the patience for it. Like, for instance, you can watch ICT on 2x and watch it for 4 hours, and you can get something that could have been 30 minutes, but it's still valuable. It's still extremely, extremely valuable, and it's gold. But it's just like, there's just so much fucking jargon and so much like the new stuff. Like, I was watching someone, was like, I can't even, he was like, yeah, I can do this, but you can't do this. It's like, why do you have to say that? Like, does that make you feel good? Like, I don't get that. But you can watch that. Also, I have a bunch of stuff on YouTube. I'm still working on building up the library on YouTube. Then I have the private library that's in the Discord. I think it's like 20 something classes. It goes from market structure, psychology to building an edge. There's a ton of stuff in there. It's more catered for beginners, but I would recommend just sticking with something. If you decide that you want to do ICT, pick one teacher or one educator, and make sure that you trust that educator, stick with it, because there's going to be times where what they're saying doesn't make sense, or you go out and use what they've taught you and it doesn't work, and you're going to want to switch up, and that's a fatal mistake. So whatever it is, you just stick with something, be patient, don't expect to make a shitload of money for a while, and trust the process. Embrace the unknown. It's the biggest advice I can give you. I have a trading plan and back test, but I can't execute the trades in a live market. So that's trading psychology. I know you said, how can I train my brain? So what I would do is I would really build a genuine relationship with the fact that you don't have to understand what's going to happen on that exact trade. So let's say if you have a series of trades and you have tested 100 trades, and out of that 100 trades, 40 of them won, and they had a 3-to-1 risk reward. So it's not like a super, super profitable strategy. I mean, it is profitable, but let's just say, you don't know which 40 are going to win. So when you're trading that strategy in a live market, you could take, if it has a 40% win rate, you could take 6 losses in a row, and your strategy is still okay. Are you going to be able to take 6 losses in a row and still execute in the 7th to get that win, in the 8th and the 9th and the 10th to get those wins to balance that out? And if you can't do that, if the answer is no, then it's because you're afraid of, you're trying to predict the outcome of each trade. So if you're in the mindset of having to be right, of this trade has to win, if you get upset when you take a loss, those are all telltale signs that you're not really accepting the risk you're taking. Like, sure, you understand you're taking a risk. If I ask you, what's risk? You're gonna say, I'm risking money. But if are you really, if I ask you, okay, are you cool with risking money? You're gonna say, yeah, of course I am. Why? I'm trading. But nobody really accepts that. If you really accepted it, you wouldn't change your plan once there was money involved. You wouldn't be afraid to execute and lose money. You wouldn't move your stop loss or change your position size or babysit a trade and wonder what you should do to it after you already have a plan. Because if you really accepted the risk you put on, you wouldn't do any of that. But that's what it really comes down to, is accepting the risk. Like, if I enter a trade, I'm automatically okay if that trade just immediately goes to my stop loss. Sure, it's natural to be like, damn, like that sucks. I'm not saying to be a robot and dehumanize yourself to the point of having zero emotion. And like, I see a bunch of people on Twitter, like, when I trade, I'm totally emotionless. I'm like, you're a fucking liar. I mean, that's just not true. But it's all about accepting that uncertainty, and it will tone that fear down. So that's my biggest advice, is to just kind of accept uncertainty. Just understand you don't have to know you might lose multiple trades in a row, so just keep trading and keep pushing through it. And if that doesn't work, then back test a new plan. But if you've have a plan and you've back tested it, then it's just a matter of execution. Of course, no problem. RNDR. Take a look. I'm just gonna look on Tether. Damn it, Adeliki and these pump. You're the pump demon, Adeliki. I'm just fucking with you. The pump specialist. I mean, it looks fucking like it's going for something. On a you know, if I was a betting man, you know, I'd probably, let's see what's in this wick. Right here, I'm just curious, nonetheless. I'm gonna pick this candle. And the reason I'm picking that is we close above that high right there. So I think that's your draw at 1598, but you're so extended that it's like, I mean, fuck, man. Like, I wouldn't be longing to that. If anything, if I'm looking at the daily, you know, we've taken out liquidity, right? We're trading into an order block. I would just be waiting for like a 4 or a 1 hour break of structure the downside with displacement. And I would probably look for something inside this this weekly fair value gap. Let's see if there's like a daily breaker over to the left, maybe. Really take stops though. Hold on. So let's see. Let's refine this. Yeah, so I mean, this daily fair value gap, I mean, it got tapped into, so I mean, you know, it's arguable that it's already mitigated, but I would just wait. Again, once you get a 1 hour structural break, you know, let's say you just blast that, you're already in it. This is when I would, it's too jumbled together, if that makes sense. Like, you want expansive ranges in between your points of interest, so that way if a structural break does happen, you have enough room to get in and make money. But I would just wait on this, but I think that if you do get up to $1.58 or 59 cents, and then, you know, maybe, let's say maybe you do something like this, and then you get a big push out, you know, that would be a good trade setup. Anything other than that, I think is just trying to force something. Because the bias could go either way. Tony said, play big gang, what's up? And no problem, Legacy. Stone Crab, check out Woo. I'm assuming that they probably, maybe not actually. Or yeah, they move, nothing crazy. With DYDX, I'm pretty sure they're involved with DYDX somehow. Like one of them provides liquidity, the other is what somebody told me. I don't know if that's true. Surprised it didn't tap into this candle. It seems like it tapped the wick. Almost. I think that this candle will probably get tapped at some point. Yeah, I think this fair value gap's a real possibility right here on the weekly. That's probably where I would be watching price to go overall, somewhere in this level, and you've got this liquidity under it. You've got more confluence. I would say that this is where I'd be looking for price to head. What is 16710 on Binance? This is the perp charts too. So if it were me, let's see. I mean, the nice entry was already really up here. You can watch, I would watch inside this 4 hour fair value gap if you get in there, potentially. Other than that, I'd probably chill on it, but or wait for a long in that zone. But these are the two areas I would watch. UJ trendline looked really not bad. I just saw that. Yeah, there's a ton, isn't there? But I really didn't notice that. Yeah, that's another thing that'd be in the way of longs. I mean, yeah, there's gonna be a ton of. I could see it popping up into that for sure. That's a good eye. I didn't even notice that. Do I look at indices? Oh yeah, for sure. That's my bread and butter. Bread and butter. 4078. That's what I'm looking for today. Right here. And again, we went over it a little bit in the beginning of the video. I won't go too much in detail, but we came down this 4-hour balanced price range. So you need to train your eye to see this. So we had this little fair value gap here, fair value gap right there. Watch how aggressively price moved away from that. Because it's a balanced price range. Price has no reason to go through that. After it's traded to that, it shouldn't come back down to it if the bias is correct. And bias is bullish, so we see that. I wanted us to trade down in here, but we just traded into the breaker. You can look at this as a market maker buy if you want to be a little more technical with it. But it's ugly, you know, but it's there. That's what I see. I think 4078, what is it? 4078, yeah, is a good internal or intraday draw. Overall, I think we're going to go towards 4200. I think that has a good chance of happening with FOMC, but we'll see. Overall bullish on indices. We've been bullish. I mean, you could see the lot. And look at this. Look how well balanced price range have been working. Look at that. We actually got misordered on some longs over here. That's why you see this little sad fair value gap. It was never touched again. But I wanted a long here in the Discord all the way to 4200, but you can see that Composite Man said no tendies for you. But and I see the buys, and look at this. So 4-hour bounce price range, 15-minute displacement up. 4-hour bounce price range, 15-minute displacement up. I mean, it's the same program that's running right now as that, and then we go to highs, right? All these shorts are going to get obliterated. And I might be wrong, right? I hate when I say it like that. If I say like all these shorts are going to get obliterated, that's when I end up being wrong. But, you know, at the end of the day, it goes back to what I was saying before. You know, if I'm wrong, I've been publicly wrong multiple times. It's fine. You know, when I'm right, I'm right enough that the wrongs they get canceled out, so to speak. And you just got to manage your risk and learn how to accept that. Like, you really don't know anything for sure. But being confident in what you think is important, even if you are wrong. Like somebody who's confident in their bias and ends up being wrong, and then you take someone who was kind of just like, you know, shifty, and then they ended up in chat like, oh, like let's just say like, you know, oh, I said it was going to go down, but that person really didn't think it was going to go down. Like the person who was wrong is making a better decision as a trader. Hopefully that made sense. Kind of butchered that explanation. Thanks for subscribing, David. I appreciate it, man. Let's see. In my opinion, is 2022 ICT Mentorship episode 12 important to learn? I remember if it was you, somebody else asked me about this episode the other day. So it talks about, I know exactly what lesson you're talking about. It talks about short-term and internal term and long-term highs. You know, I won't say it's like mandatory that you learn, but it definitely helps. And I'm not gonna lie, it's one of those things that I watched that episode like 4 or 5 times because it's one of those weird like phenomena. It's not even, something finally just clicks, and it's not even the way he teaches it. It's just seeing it in a live market. But I know that episode is fucking abysmal, and that's a great fucking example of like unnecessary complication, in my opinion. That is actually a really good example of that. But it is a complicated matter. So, you know, like in this example, we're just talking about like certain price levels or certain like ranges of price. So like, you know, once this would be obviously a long-term low, you know, or if we look at from the bearish side, like we came down in here, you know, we had a short-term high, an intermediate-term high, and then this would be your long-term high because it's this displacement range, so to speak. Actually, if you're looking at a higher time frame, it's gonna be easier. But, you know, again, that's another thing. One person's gonna look. There's no mechanical way to do that. There's no, you know, that's kind of just how you do it. But again, it's just a different way to map market structure. Really, what it comes down to is not using the strong high and strong low theory that most smart money teaches, which is external structure, and looking at internal structure on a different level of like, what do you deem a short-term high, which is like, you know, maybe something like this, like just a little high candle that has one candle on each side of it. I know ICTs went back and forth from teaching 1 on each side to 2 on the following side, so that'd be like a short-term high. Came up, made an intermediate-term high. You see what I mean? So again, it can get pretty abysmal there, but yeah, it's looking nice. How often do I journal? Every day that I trade, I'll input it, you know, but I journal, like physically journal, like life journal every single morning and night. In addition to the above, do you know anyone that has a simplified version of that episode? No, I doubt it. Because here's the reason why. That's one that like there's no fucking like I said, it's just jargon, but it's good jargon, but it's just one of those things you just start to get like from trading in the market. But that episode inspires overthinking because the whole episode is just talking about, oh, like you can't understand this, like it's so complicated, which it's like, yeah, that's right, but you know, again, that's where I try to make things like executable, but I wouldn't, you know, lose sleep over the fact if you don't get it. Just keep watching it, come back to it, mark up your chart, just try, but don't like be so, you know, don't be hard on yourself or like require that you fully understand that. You know what I mean? Because a lot of people get tripped up, and that's another thing that this fucking space does to people, is that it's like seems like it's like you're learning like calculus, and then like you have all these people fucking counting candles and like ridiculous shit that may or may not work, but like the people that I know that actually make money doing this, whether it's smart money or anything, they don't have a fucking insanely complicated system. Like, newsflash. Like, wait, like, I know there's a lot of people watching this and watching the older ICT or the newer ICT, and it's like, you know, you feel like you like have cracked the Da Vinci Code, and you have to like spend 100 hours, you know, doing this mentorship, which you know I guess say 100 hours reasonable, but like 1,000 hours and like crack like the enigma of everything. It's like you don't have to do that to make money. You just got to pick what makes sense to you, what works, what you've tested, and what you've been able to actually implement and execute and make money off of. And you know you don't have to know every little last thing in order to do that. You know, especially as new traders, you know, you will go through a paralysis by analysis stage, 100%. Especially with smart money, just with trading in general, but especially smart money. US 30 tapped into 4 and 1 hour BPR with 1 hour breaker. Right in here. I don't know. You said with the 1 hour? Where is it? Yeah, with the 1 hour breaker. Yeah, it's nice, man. That's super clean. Super clean. See, like just knowing what you just said, just understanding that in market structure, you can make money. And daily buy. But like that concept, like you understand what a POI is. You understand that prices came into it. You understand that highs have been taken out. You understand what the fair value gap is. You can make money off that. You know, you don't have to be like on that crazy, like, you know, next to that. That right there is a great example of what we're talking about. Have I taken any trade today? No, not today. Well, we're in a trade in the private server, but it wouldn't be fair to everybody in there. It's not indices or forex. I'll tell you, it is crypto. But DXY outlook, we did that earlier in the video, but basically, or wait, actually, no, we didn't. You're right. I'm sorry, we didn't do that. I'm glad you said that. So, this is playing out nicely. So this order block, I'm bearish on DXY right now, but so we've been talking about, just like every time we have these draws, we get close to them and we kind of meander around. One thing I posted on Twitter is I look at this right here. So these are the 2 points of interest, right? These are the 2 reversal zones. So if we go up here, I'm expecting this low. If we go here first, I'm expecting a quick move to this zone. So how do we break down and decide where we're going to go, right? Well, I'm looking at this as bearish order flow overall, but we have this liquidity void right here. I see probably getting taken out, but I could see it causing some, you know, difficulty. To me, there's not a bunch of displacement here in this leg. It's just, you know, chop. So it's going to get taken out. Now, another reason why I like that narrative, again, we're bearish overall. We've been talking about going back under this low right here for probably 2 or 3 weeks now. And this also goes hand in hand with the analysis for Euro. It goes in the analysis for ES. If we look at this, price came up, and this 1 hour candle, what did it do? Closed above liquidity pretty nicely right there, right? Everybody thinks, oh, it's a break of structure. And this is where bias is paramount. You know, you could use candle closes to break a structure, or maybe whatever, you know, structure you're using. You know, this would be probably the structure of like an external level if you're trading that kind. But came above that, and then what happened? We engulfed it. So that to me is a high value order block. So let's go down in the 5 minute. What happens as soon as we come into it? 3 drive, displace break of structure, return to fair value gap. we're seeking out sell side. So this is what you call the sell side of the curve. Also, if you want to look at this from a market maker model's perspective, got that right there. Second leg of distribution into the order block. So I would see probably push down here, maybe consolidation somewhere in here, and then push under those lows. So bearish on the dollar intraday. It goes back with what we said at the beginning of the stream. ES looks like it wants that draw. But yeah, what David, what he said, you really don't need it. He's profitable without it. It's just a specific scenario you can live without. Exactly. It's just like, yeah, it's not gonna hurt you to like try to learn it, but if you're like, I need to know this, it's gonna fuck you. Like that's a lot of stuff too with trading. If you know, my advice to people is like, try to learn everything you can. And if it doesn't stick, don't sit there and beat on a dead horse and watch the same video 50 times in a row. Watch it twice and then maybe come back later. And once you've understood some other stuff and you have different context to absorb that information from. What risk do I take per trade? So it depends where the account's at. I like to do 0.5% most of the time, but I'll cut that down at 0.25% if it's in a drawdown, or if I'm right around break even. I thought the market structure video was enlightening. You're right that it encouraged overthinking. Yeah, it's a great video if you can get it for sure, but it's just so like it could be 20 minutes long. I swear to God, as with most of those. They're like an hour. So that's CHF. We've taken out this low right here. Look at the monthly. Monthly looks like a barcode. So you're overall bearish on the weekly for an external level. I would say at some point you're going to want to move back up into this region, but you know, you've traded in this fair value gap. You took the low after that, right? Did it? Yeah, it did. So after that, you came off that low. To me, to have a clear bias, I would want to see like this high get taken with displacement. And if that happens, I would say you're going towards equilibrium up here. So you'd be bullish, be a nice buy, so you can start seeking out. It'd be counter trend to the weekly, but you'd be able to start seeking out stuff up here. But until then, I think it's kind of just consolidating right around that old low on the weekly. So not the ideal place to be bearish, but if I had to be, I'd probably be more short biased here. But again, this is a chart I would go to another chart. Like, I would never watch this whenever I have ES the way it looks right now. It would never, right? I just, you know, because you can look at the lower time frames and like this 4 hour looks pretty good, but like the daily to me is like, I look at ES, like that's a very good, clean chart. So I'm not gonna really, you know, watch anything that's not clean. But I said short bias first. Actually, look at the 4 hour, it looks pretty nice. But see how I'm going? I'm like, oh, I can see short, I can see long. That's where I'm just like, okay, I'm done. But if you get 15-minute break starts to upside out of this 4 hour BPR, took that liquidity right here. So, you know, again, we are expecting at some point the weekly to start to pull back because we are in a bearish swing and we took out sell side liquidity here, and we took it out. We ran that initial low. So, you know, with a displacement break structure, you would look for upside. Until then, you can try to use the lower time frames to time that early, but you're kind of trying to, you know, jump the gun a little bit, which it may work, and I can see how it would work, but hopefully that reasoning explains why I, you know, don't pay attention to some setups like I do others. I love when you guys talk in the comments. Dope, everybody. Thanks for answering some questions, David. Seen a lot of people that are profitable without it, but I've recently found that a lot of people mentioning it in their analysis. I felt I started to see progress, and now I'm regressing because of too much information, which I could definitely do without. Just got to find a plan that works for you. Sometimes too much info is no bueno. Yeah, 100%. Yeah, I agree 100% with Oki. You don't need to learn everything ICT teaches. Bias, liquidity, market structure shifts. You know, literally, what David said, that's actually really good. I'm gonna put this on the screen for those who can't. Everybody can probably see it, but this is a good example of what you actually need. Right? You do not need to learn everything. Bias, liquidity, market structure shifts, price delivery arrays, power of three, premium discount. And then this is the big one, months of chart watching. And better, like one thing that I've started to tell people too, start with the demo, but like before you jump, don't just try to jump from a demo to like a 200K funded account or something. Do like a demo and then put some amount of money that you're willing to lose. That may be $20, it may be $1,000, maybe $500, maybe $50. I don't know. Everybody's different in different places financially, and different places, you know, different situations. So I would just figure out something that you could lose, like you would lose and you don't care, but load that into a brokerage and trade with it. And I swear to God, it will feel different than a demo. It's going to give you some form of like, it'll get you at least the slightest bit ready for, you know, psychological obstacles that you're going to go through. I just realized I didn't even get any of these notifications. Damn, from Discord. What do I think about shorts here on Bitcoin? I could see it, but I'm probably not gonna chase after. I definitely see it, but to me, it's like trying to short the pullback. Like where Playboy got you guys in at a good point. I think if it was up somewhere in here and there was a nice move from it, if I remember correctly. But I just think that the shorts are going to be. I tried to short it once, so I see it. But I just wait for longs. If I think it's going to go down short, I'm just going to wait for longs in this gap, just because I'm bullish in the daily. And I look at oil, and then a bearded noir I would, but this stream's public. That's like the private chat or the private signal. What I'll do is at the end of this, when I cut the YouTube stream, I'll go over that. And sorry guys, YouTube, I'm not trying to be like a dick, but it's just a private signal that it wouldn't be fair to share it. But I will I'll explain after that. Oil. So let's look at crude. I haven't looked at this in a while. This is kind of like UJ or that CAD CHF chart. It's not where I want it to be make super clear, but I am looking for alarms at some point. So like what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna set an alarm. So for me right now I would like this high to get taken with displacement and close over it. So I'm gonna do once per bar close, and I'm gonna chill. I'm gonna come back and look at it eventually, but that's what I want to see. You know, strong push up there, preferably creating a fair value gap before I think that this is gonna start going up. But I overall bullish on oil, and I think that there will probably be some kind of contemporary issue slash something that you know, this actually looks like it might be one of those order blocks forming. We'll see, but there's gonna be something I think that is gonna happen with the war or something in the world that is going to be a catalyst. And I know we had China open back up, right? I think they might be still in the process of opening back up, but you know, there's gonna be something I think that's how oil usually works. But overall bullish. I just need more confirmation. XRP. It's pretty wicky on the daily. Travel on this fair value gap. You know, this is why I like it on the high timers. Like I think XRP looks great, but I don't trade it just because the price action is not. It doesn't really meet my style, but I know that there are a lot of people who trade it very well. So, but just like for me, there's not enough fair value gaps most of the time, and if there is, they get violated. But you know, let's see, we'll tap in that fair value gap here. The 4-hour got a displacement breakdown, but it's really not holding under it well. If we can get, you know, bears need this to hold, or they need to stay under this zone, and preferably after that, maybe take out this low or take out this low. But I'm not saying I think that will happen, because overall I think crypto is pretty bullish. Even if we get a pullback, you know, we don't know how long it'll last. But we're trading into a bullish order block, so I see either side. Now the problem with me, the only reason why I'm not more confident long bias is just that 4-hour chart. But overall, the daily would tell me we'd look more for this up here, you know, 4332. So the higher time frames look incredible, like the weekly and stuff. I mean, overall, like, it's a good spot buy in my opinion. Shout out Sir Trades. Let me look at some of these. What time frame do I use to enter normally? 1, 5, or 15 minute. But I mean, I'll enter. We entered a trade that hit like 4R. We talked about the beginning of the video off a daily chart. You know, I'm not so linear with that, but most of the time it's like 1, 5, and 15 minute. ES bounce at 40.36 was also previous week mid range. Yeah. Oh, to be honest, I didn't even realize that. Today's my first day trading this week. I hadn't even marked out was it the previous week's equilibrium? Oh yeah, 40.35. Wait, where was the 40.35? Oh, this right here. Ah. That was a good eye. I got caught not paying attention to that one. It's funny, when I don't mark out like a previous daily high, or at least a lot of times I won't mark it out unless I'm posting stuff, but like if I don't like pay attention to it, it'll always be like the draw or something like that. It's just like every time that that happens. That XRPPA is disgusting. Yeah, I mean it looks good on the weekly and the daily, but just like for my strategy, it's not easy to trade. Natural gas, okay. Wrong one. Where's my fucking... Oh, I'm blind as shit. I was like, where did it go? I'll look at this chart in a minute. This is a continuous count. Holy fuck. Big rip. I mean, you know, I really don't see like super high value areas for it to bounce off of. Like this looks like it wants to just continuously go. I would say draw is 240 right now though. I think you're going there. But even then, I still don't see like high value areas here. Yeah, it's pretty ugly. I'd say this region is drawn down though on a weekly. I mean, there's not much to be said for this chart. A lot of this is a macro influence too, but this is one I'd be trying to trade if I was a beginner. I'm not saying that you are at all, Stonecrab. I'm just saying, like, for people watching, like, don't look up NG and be like, oh, I want to open a CME account. I think you can trade on MetaTrader stuff too, but this is brutality unless you're just shorting. Yes, retracing near 618 at a 15-minute fair value gap with a divergence. Smells like a short. What kind of divergence? Oh yeah, I see it. Yeah, I can definitely see that. But again, for me, I think we're drawing up, so I'll wait on the short. I could see it. For those who are not familiar with what he's talking about or what I'm talking about, so we made a lower high there, but a higher high there. You use a 1 minute maybe to confirm it. We might even get this run down here, but if it was to short, I would be pretty aggressive with the targeting. Usually, like this last month, really, I was gone for a week for vacation, but overall, it's been a really great month. So I'm getting, when I have great months, I get really fucking picky. I see it, but I'd wait personally. But I definitely do see it. What you see. I don't know about the 618 or anything. I don't really use fibs like that, but I see the SMT. But again, it's like in context. Like for me, like I see it here, but like I also could see that getting invalidated, you know, just as likely as it working, just because the overall bias for me is bullish. You know, while even like we could dump one 5-minute candle down to this right here, I'm still gonna be bullish, right? I'm not gonna buy necessarily, but like that's not gonna change my bias. So if I was to short, it would be like pretty aggressive TPs, you know, like the next 1 minute liquidity, stuff like that. On that note, guys, Bitcoin has, somebody said Bitcoin has a unicorn setup. Unicorn on the 1 hour and 15, 22.50. Okay, so 22.50, you're talking about somewhere right here. Are you considering one of these a breaker, or where's the breaker at that you're seeing? I mean, I guess I could say this, but it's already been mitigated. Unless it's somewhere else. Maybe like this. Yes, yeah, aggressive TP if you go with the short. Yeah. Definitely would be aggressive with a TP. My sentiment on near. Hop off the YouTube after that, and we'll go over that. Beer Noir if you're still here. Near, nothing's really changed the last time I looked at. I like this order block right here. I have an alert set for it, so yeah. For me, with crypto, I almost said with the crypto. It's like a fucking boomer, but with crypto, I'm more waiting for like the high value setup. They're higher time frame. Like I'll wait for a week. If this doesn't hit, my alert's never gonna go off. I'm never gonna look at this chart. Like if you're trying to trade intraday, I wouldn't be trying to do it on a bunch of alts. I think it's better to wait for the high time frame setups, 4 hour and above, and trade off that for crypto. There's a lot more precise price action found within the stock market and metals, stuff like that. Then speaking of metal, I need to do gold. Actually, I'll do that one for you, player. But sounds good. But how would I do that? Not sure what. David, I see you guys are talking. It'll take time. Yeah. Well, David, I appreciate you answering questions. So I think that's pretty much it. As far as the YouTube, we will not be live till next Tuesday, but if you want to start a trial, you can use the link in the description. You get access to my trade signals, Playboy's trade signals, Glacier, Robbie, Hunter, and then also we do more streams in the private Discord. Playboy does streams, Glacier does streams, Hunter does streams for premium members, or the member that both crypto and forex or crypto and stock membership combined. My mind's blank. I can't remember if it's private or premium, but I do streams on Thursdays, and then I also do like a private class on Saturdays where we have it's more of like a formal setting most of the time, and then you'll get access to the whole library of, I think it's 20 something, it's like low 20s classes. So yeah, hope I see you guys in the Discord. If not, I will see you next Tuesday. Peace.